Hello friends! Last year, a children's nurse called Pauline lost her entire pension savings to fraudsters, £45,000. Everything she had put away over decades of working in the NHS. She shared her story publicly, not because it was easy, but because she hoped it might stop someone else going through what she went through. The pensions regulator, who published her story, said the impact was powerful precisely because it was real. This was not a distant statistic, it was a person, a professional, someone who considered herself careful, and it happened anyway. While Pauline's case was being processed, new operations were already running, new phone numbers, new scripts, new technology that did not even exist 2 years ago. And the pensioners being targeted right now have no idea what these new tactics look like. Today I'm going through every active scheme, how the call starts, what they say, how they create panic, and what they are actually trying to get from you. Stay until the very end, because the last thing I cover is the one piece of information most people only find out after the money is already gone. Before we get into it, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell. Scam tactics change every few months, and what you knew about last year is already outdated. The people subscribed here find out before they become victims. Subscribe now and let us get into it. Let me start with the numbers so you understand the scale. In 2024, Action Fraud recorded over £1.1 billion in total fraud losses across the UK. Pensioners aged 65 and over lost an average of £4,000 each when targeted, significantly higher than the average for all ages. Pension fraud alone cost victims £17.5 million in 2024, with each person losing an average of £33,848. And fewer than 1 in 10 fraud victims ever reports it. Shame, embarrassment, and self-blame keep the majority silent, which means criminals know they can operate for a long time before anyone notices. Scheme number 1. The bank impersonation call and the safe account. Your phone rings. The caller ID shows your bank's name or a number that looks official. A serious voice tells you that suspicious activity has been detected on your account. An attempted transfer, an unrecognised login. Your account needs to be secured immediately. A pensioner in Lanarkshire received exactly this call. The caller sounded calm and professional. They claimed to be from his bank's fraud department and said that to protect what remained of his money, he needed to transfer his entire balance to a new, secure account they would set up for him. He transferred £90,000, his entire life savings. The moment the transfer completed, the account closed and the callers disappeared. Here is the rule that stops this completely. No bank will ever ask you to move your money to a safe account to protect it from fraud. Not Barclays, not HSBC, not Lloyds, not any bank ever. Genuine fraud teams freeze the card or block the account. They never ask you to move money. And caller ID can be completely faked, so a name on your screen means nothing. If anyone calls about fraud and asks you to transfer money, put the phone down. Then ring the number on the back of your card, which you look up yourself, and ask whether there is an actual issue. Scheme number 2. The grandparent call with a cloned voice. This is the newest and most disturbing because it weaponizes something no one expects to defend against. Artificial intelligence voice cloning tools can now replicate anyone's voice from as little as 3 seconds of audio, enough from a Facebook video or a voicemail greeting. You receive a call and you hear your grandchild's voice. Not a voice that sounds like them, their actual voice, and they are crying, saying they have been in an accident or arrested and need money immediately. Please do not tell mum and dad yet because they are embarrassed. Then a second person comes on the line, a solicitor, a bail officer, who explains how to send the money. UK consumer protection experts documented this exact pattern being used actively in the United Kingdom in 2025 and 2026. The technology is free, requires no skill, and produces results convincing enough that most people cannot tell the difference. What you do if you receive this call. Put the phone down immediately and ring your grandchild directly on the number you already have saved, not a number the caller gives you. If the call was fake, your grandchild will answer normally. The protection to put in place right now. Agree on a family safe word, a word or phrase that only your real family members know. If you receive a distressing call from someone who sounds like a family member, ask for the safe word before doing anything. A scammer cannot provide a word they never had. Scheme number 3, the pension review that is not a review. Stephen Grimes spent 12 years building up his pension. When someone cold called him offering a free pension review, it sounded legitimate. It was not. The callers were running one of 11 fraudulent schemes controlled by Alan Barrett and Susan Dalton, who were eventually convicted and jailed for stealing £13.7 million from 245 people. Stephen lost £27,000. He and his wife had to raid other pension pots to pay their mortgage. The judge said the fraudsters had caused such misery to so many people that some victims had attempted to take their own lives. Action Fraud confirms that pension fraud losses in 2024 were £17.5 million, with an average loss of £33,848 per victim. The opening line is almost always the same: a free review, a better return on your savings, a time-limited opportunity to switch to a higher performing scheme. Cold calling about pensions has been illegal in the United Kingdom since 2019. Any unsolicited contact about your pension, call, text, social media message, is breaking the law and almost certainly a scam. Before making any change to your pension, check that the firm is authorised by the FCA at fca.org.uk. The FCA Consumer Helpline is 080 011 167 68. Scheme number 4, the tech support pop-up. You are using your computer and a loud alarm sounds. A message fills the screen saying your device is infected and you must call a number immediately. The person who answers sounds professional. They ask for remote access to fix the problem. Once they have that access, they can see everything: your banking apps, passwords, email. Some steal the information silently. Others convince you to pay for the repair using gift cards or bank transfer. If a pop-up ever tells you to call a number about a computer problem, close the browser. If it will not close, switch the computer off at the mains. Microsoft, Apple, and your internet provider will never initiate contact through an alarm on your screen. Scheme number 5, the parcel scam. A parcel arrives that you did not order. Hours later, you receive a call from someone claiming to be from a debt collection agency, saying that by accepting the parcel, you have agreed to pay for it and now owe several £100s. They may imply your benefits could be affected if you do not pay immediately. Under UK consumer law, you are under no obligation to pay for or return unsolicited goods. They are yours to keep, discard, or donate. No legitimate debt collection works this way. If you receive this kind of contact, report it to Action Fraud on 0300 123 2040. Now the most important part. What happens if it already happened? If you have already transferred money or given details to someone who turned out to be a scammer, ring your bank immediately. The window for recovering funds through a recall is measured in hours. Since October 2024, UK banks are legally required to reimburse victims of authorised push payment fraud in most cases up to £85,000. UK finance figures show that around 62% of APP fraud losses were returned to victims in 2025. Report it regardless of how you feel about it. Action Fraud on 030 0123 2040 or at actionfraud.police.uk. Only a small fraction of victims ever report what happened. The same operations that took Pauline's £45,000 pension, that stole £27,000 from Stephen Grimes, that stripped a pensioner in Lanarkshire of his entire £90,000 life savings, they are still running right now in updated forms. Your report contributes to the evidence that eventually leads to an arrest. Share this with every pensioner you know. The people running these schemes are professionals, with scripts, managers, and technology more convincing than anything that existed 2 years ago. The only defence is knowing the playbook before they call. I will see you in the next one.